Good afternoon. Hope you guys have had a wonderful weekend. It has been so pretty here in East Tennessee. We have got some projects coming down the pike, and actually it depends on the weather. We may start tomorrow. We have got to take this greenhouse roof off, which is something I'm totally dreading, and I'm dreading it for my husband and my sons. They're the ones that have to do it. I'm going to show you guys what they're going to have to do, but let me turn the vent fan off first because it's loud. Alright, so I showed you guys this in a previous video. If y'all see that they gave us the wrong glass for the roof, it is clouding up pretty badly if you can see it, and it's just only going to get worse probably. It doesn't have any UV in it. So we noticed instantly, like right after we put it on, pretty soon after the greenhouse had been running for just a month or so, it was kind of like distorted a little bit, which was odd, and then it's just kind of clouded over time and nothing I could clean off. So they cut some pieces for us, which was awesome. They are made of UV. We've got them down at the shop, and we're gonna do things a little differently. And I'll show you the process when we start doing it, hopefully tomorrow, but here again, we can't do that in the storms. We use silicone up here. My husband made a channel in the 4x4 post, and the glass sits in it on top of silicone. And then it has a 1x4 on top of that with more silicone. So we are going to eliminate the 1x4s because we've replaced this one twice. It's buckled. All of them kind of buckled, and they haven't weathered real well on top of this greenhouse, just from probably merely from all the heat and weather hitting it. So our plan, and this is just merely something we've come up with, our plan is to use this foam expandable weather stripping in place of the caulk. And then instead of the 1x4s, we're going to use Trex. So we went and got the stuff today. I don't know if it's going to work, y'all. We're just trying. You know, after you build something, especially something like this, that's not a kit, that's just made completely from our mind, drawing it out and figuring what would work, we've come to conclusion that, you know, maybe this might work a little better or something. So for the most part, everything worked really awesome. We just really only had trouble with the roof. And I also want to talk about my deer fence around the garden. So I wanted to show you guys what we did to install an easy, cheap, inexpensive deer fence. So hopefully it'll work. So I can't tell you the final results until it's made it through the whole season, hopefully. But I'll show you guys what we did to get it started and kind of what we used. All right, let's head down there and look at this deer fence. I know I showed a little bit to you guys on the last couple videos, but I just kind of wanted to go more in depth. I had some people ask questions about it, so let's do this. All right, you guys, so my garden is about 50 feet on each side. For the material list, and what we used was deer netting. We used 2 rolls of this deer netting. It's 7 by 100 feet, and it was $23 a roll. And then we used roughly about 24 of these fiberglass posts. They're step-in, really easy to get into the ground, and we stacked them. That way we could unfold the deer netting, and they're probably about 6 foot tall. So I think that worked out pretty good. We've got them zip tied together, and they kind of fit down in real flush, so they work really well. Now this would probably keep out rabbits and stuff too, which I have seen this year. And we have had some high winds come through here, and it's still up. We've zip tied the netting to these posts right here, kind of hooked them in a little bit. And then on the corners, which I had already had, so I didn't have to purchase, was T-posts. So we have 4 of these, 1 on each corner to kind of stabilize these things. But I don't have any T-posts here, and you can see they're standing up pretty well. These are very easy to move. They just step in the ground, and they're all the way down to the little step-in mark, and then you can just pull them up. So if you need to pull them up and then push them in further to mow or whatever you've got to do. Now we made an opening right here, so we have 2 posts together with a zip tie up top, and all you have to do is just take it off and just step right in here, or just pick this up and put it right in here, and I'll show you guys what I mean. Easier to show you. And I just step down right into the soft dirt. And there you go. Got an opening to get in. These T-posts, which, like I said, I got about 24 of them. I paid $1.72, I think, for them. So I did all this for less than $100. which if it keeps the deer out, I think that's great. Also, I may not be able to use it again for next season, so if I have to purchase the deer netting again, we're looking at about $50 to repurchase the deer netting again for next year. Now, I've thought about like the poultry netting, some of the electric netting, so I guess that's to be determined on how well this works. We'll see. I'll let you guys know as the season goes and how it holds up. Let's see what's coming up, y'all. I know I saw something. We're supposed to have rain tomorrow, but I may end up watering again today. It's pretty dry. Y'all, I planted my onions early last week, and look, they're already coming up. Awesome. We've got a bunch of this coming up. My husband thought at first it was cucumbers, but last year I had squash in this row. So, yeah, that's going to be more squash than I could feed probably the universe. So we're going to have to pull some of this up. And we don't want it taking over my onions, because this stuff, oh my, I can grow squash like you wouldn't believe. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and she said that she couldn't grow squash at all here, and I said, you need to come get some of mine. One bush was just like more than we could even eat. It was crazy. Tomatoes are looking really good from their transplant. Y'all, I've got feathers here. They're from my chicken compost. Looks like all of the transplants are doing really good. So we went to Lowe's and I had to get some more seeds. I found some zinnias that I had grown last year. They're called Giant Cactus Flowered Mixed Colors. These were my all-time favorite last year. The petals on them were they were gorgeous. So I think I saved a few and planted a few, but after they dried up, I didn't mark them. So I'm gonna be sure that I have these. 35 days to bloom, we're gonna plant those. Some more of the candy cane zinnias, I thought those were so cool. And some coreopsis. Now on these it says 32 to 54 days bloom. So we'll see how they do. I'm gonna plant these probably in that front bed over here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna plant some of the zinnias in here. That way, if they need to kind of creep up next to this. I think I gotta switch my water out. Move it over. Y'all, I do a lot of that spring and summer watering. That's a lot of my job. And just because I'm doing this, it's gonna rain, y'all. It'll rain. Watch. It's a very handy little thing here, though. I discovered this last summer. All right, guys, I want to show you guys something creepy. My husband found a little skull when he was mowing yesterday. I don't know what it is, because I'm not a skull expert, nor do I want to be. Check it out. And one of the teeth fell out of it. Look at that. And look at the teeth in there. It's like molars. And it looks like probably where some fang teeth were. Ooh, creepy, y'all. What in the heck is this? Does anybody know? If y'all have any expert opinions, let me know. Weird. This is some of the material that we got at Lowe's today for the greenhouse. Okay, so this is what we used before to go in the channels. This is what we're going to use now. And we had to buy a bunch of this stuff, y'all. We've got different sizes because they didn't have enough of this in stock. Run into that a lot. But we think this will mostly work. But if there's some that has a bigger channel, or the glass doesn't meet up quite as much, and I'll show you guys whenever we start working on it, we'll use this one, these. But we're hoping this is going to work. This is going to be used on the bottom part. We've got a plan, y'all. We do. But you know how that goes around here. When we have sort of a pop-up plan, that I get myself into those pop-up plans, and sometimes they don't work out so good. But, we won't get into that right now. We'll hope that doesn't happen. We're hoping everything's going to turn out good this time. So this, and I'll show you guys whenever they start working on it. Hopefully tomorrow, unless it storms. Obviously, we don't want to do a greenhouse roof in storms. But if it doesn't storm, the first day we have good weather, we're going to work on this. Today's Sunday, so we're observing the rest today. But yeah, I'm out here planting seeds. I really shouldn't be doing that. So, yeah, back to what I was saying. So the reason why we're doing this is because we're thinking if we ever have to take it off again or replace the panels for whatever reason, because one of the panels, this is going to be like the third time. Trying to get this stuff off is not fun. It's attached on there. The first one, actually, one of the panels slid down. I can't remember exactly why that happened. I don't think we had a cap on the end of it, and maybe the caulk, we didn't have enough. I really don't know, but that was one panel. And then we had to replace one because of one of the panels on the lower. Something was wrong with it. We had it, I don't know, it was a whole thing. But it was hard to get the top off because of this stuff. So we're thinking this would make it easier to replace. Not that we ever want to have to, but just in case we do. Knock on wood that we won't have to. But so hopefully this will work. If not, we'll resort back to this plan. So we're just kind of playing it by ear. Flying by the seat of our pants. Yeah, my husband's actually doing that this time. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on how it works, and I will make videos of it because I love my greenhouse. Literally, we've not had much problem with it. So I'm hoping we can sell these panels because somebody might be able to use them for something. I mean, if they're not using them for the exact purpose that we are, and they would still work fine for a greenhouse if you didn't care about, you know, the clarity of the panel and all that. So I don't know, maybe we'll retain some of our money back from that, hopefully. Y'all, my room is super barren. Y'all can see it. Fish tanks. Went to a marine biologist, actually. She came and picked them up yesterday. Super, super smart lady. She is working on macroalgae, and she explained it to me. It was amazing, actually. She was using it to fight other types of bad things in the water and stuff like that. It was super cool. But actually may go visit her sometime. And she was interested in me coming and filming her setup after she gets it ready. She's building a greenhouse, and she's putting them all in there. I'm gonna keep up with that. That's really cool. I still have my big tank and all of my fish, so that is super cool. Actually, my goldfish went to my friend and neighbor next door. He's got 2 ponds and a big fish tank, so I think she would be happy in there. I really super miss her, but the only problem is I really couldn't put her in here because I have a lot of new life happening here all the time with my fish. Little snails and little baby guppies, and she would just make a snack on all of them. So as you can see, oh my gosh, y'all, I have a lot of space. It was just taking up so much of my time. I was having to do water changes, some tanks every single day, because I had like baby plecos in there and the little baby fish. Trying to breed fish is totally different than just having a fish aquarium. Because when you're breeding fish, you're having to constantly change the water, because if you don't change the water, then they're not growing properly, or they won't breed and produce more because the water's not super clean and all those kind of things. So in order to breed fish, it really takes a full-time job of keeping it up. And like I said, I really have other things around here that is my first love, which is, you know, my outdoor stuff, my food preservation, my garden, my plants, and all those kind of things, and just a life in general. So it was just overtaking me a little bit. So I prayed about it, and I think that was absolutely the right thing to do. It gives me time to do my other stuff. And anyways, they went to a good cause, and I've always got something going on in this room, but mostly I use it for my gardening stuff. So when I can get everything organized, I'm probably going to make like organization for seeds in my jars, which are behind this wall, and they're really kind of hard to get to, really not a good spot. So I'm going to move all that back out here somewhere when I get it all cleaned up. That's what I'm working on today. All right, you guys, I've come inside. It's been a couple hours. Look at the sky. The sky does not look very happy right now. Every time I water,